Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Monday night, live intuitive guidance with John and John.
That's me, and that's me.
So yes, we've had a bit of another big week on the personal development side of things. So
another big shift this week.
Don't really know where to start it yet, guys. so bear with us a bit. We're still a bit sort of grounding after a big few downloads on the weekend, I suppose we could call them.
Yep.
So if you've got any questions, we use our guidance or our intuition with your intuition. So that way we can basically help you to hone and tone your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
So the premise to all of this, and the reason we do this, and reason now what we call our tool number one, which is if it's light, it's right. If it's heavy, it's a lie, is the way we describe it, or there's many ways to describe it, but that's the way we say it. So the reason we say that is because that needs to be your default, because whenever you're working on yourself like this, you need to basically have some sort of default so you can check on things, so that we don't make these tools rules. Basically, we don't want them to become rules, because otherwise the intellect learns them, the ego, the intellect, whatever you want to call it, and it starts using them. So if you haven't got the basic, what I call like a feeling tool or a check-in tool, we call it checking in with your inner guru.
Yep.
Then as you use these tools for a little while, the ego learns them and then uses them against you. The ego can force, like your mental ego, whatever you want to call it, intellect, can force yourself to get to feel lighter, even though you're not really feeling it. So this is why we have like multiple checks on all these things.
That's right.
So yeah.
So we ask you to use descriptive words. If you've got something that you'd like to help us intuit you with, I suppose. Use words that are meaningful to you, that really describe how certain things feel. If it's a particular situation that you might be annoyed at, really try to hone into to how it actually makes you feel. Like what parts of it actually annoy you. If it's a certain ailment in the body, we tend to ask whether it's left or right, front or back, so sort of locations. And also again like a stabbing pain in the side, or like I'm being pushed forward on the back, that kind of thing.
So if you've got life events, life circumstances going on, so a lot of the time, sorry guys, we're just if you are commenting, we're having a little bit of trouble with this new.
Oh look, it comes through in here.
Oh, it comes through there. Okay. No. Sorry guys. Yeah, we've just got a new not Zoom, a new not Zoom, and we're just trying to work it out as we go. So we're a bit sort of slower today, but we've got it right now. So we've got your messages.
Yep.
So hi guys again. So if you've got any sort of like recurring problems, if you have accidents, if you keep like banging the left side of your car, or keep banging your knee, things like that, these are messages from our soul, messages from the highest. And the repetition, and also even just normal physical ailments like recurring colds and flus and things like that, even up to the extremes of breaking bones and stuff like that, there's usually some sort of message in there. So if you've got any of these things, and especially if they're recurring, then you can really sort of hone in and so we've got one there. Sorry, I'm just reading that one from Saloti. Butterflies in the stomach is excitement, extreme heat, vibrating, something not so good news. No, generally, look, with all of these messages, I always find there's two sides. There is the positive and there is the negative. So, but butterflies in the stomach are actually generally, it's actually a good thing coming up. The nervousness it feels like not so good news, because often it involves a change, or it involves pushing your boundaries. So the butterflies, so when people, before we go on, like before I used to come on the lives, I'm still getting it a bit. It seems like tonight I'm getting it as well.
Funny that.
So it's like the nervousness it's actually usually from the positive, but we think that nervousness and the heat and everything is the negative. And the other part, he said extreme heat, did he or she?
I think so, yeah.
So the extreme
heat vibrating.
Yeah. So the extreme heat and the vibrating also often are a good sign. So when I first got into this stuff in my early 20s, and I would get deja vu, and that would make the crown chakra open and the energy would come in. So I'd get these deja vus, and I would remember I'd had this dream 2 years before, and each one was fairly insignificant moment, but it was very specific. Like a bird would fly past my car window as this bus drove past, and it was just so exact. And it was usually something where I would think I've just chosen a random way and I didn't drive a normal way I went that day or something. And so then I'd see it and I'd remember and I'd go, you can't know the future. I didn't believe any of this stuff back then. I was basically an atheist or a chaos theory. And so as the crown chakra opens and the information, inspiration, the grace of God, whatever you want to call it, comes through, the heat is actually caused by us not grounding. The heat is caused by the fear. So the extreme fear or whatever you feel, that's the combination of the heat, the energy coming through and the blocking of the base chakra or one of the lower chakras. You block it, especially the base chakra, it doesn't ground out. And it's like, you've got one pressure coming up, the fear coming up, and the faith or the love coming down, and the two clashing in the middle. It's like a kink in a hose, and that causes the heat in there. So often it's good news, but also the butterflies often tell you that you're pushing your boundaries, that you're doing what your soul wants to do. So we've been having interesting chats with our soul over the weekend. My first chat with my soul, we weren't really chats, it's more my soul yelling at me. But the soul seems to originate, and the soul is everywhere, don't get me wrong, but where we seem to hear it and feel it and originates from is from around about the navel area. And so it really relates to the lower three chakras a lot. And every now and then, if you're on this path, it can actually speak out loud like the other voices in your head, like your intellect does. And it's like, and so, yes, we've had a few little discussions over the weekend, both of us with our souls, which you can also call your inner child, if you want to call it that, because it has that same sort of vibe. It's in the threefold flame system. It's we look at the 7 chakras, but we break them into 3 groups. The top 3 is the divine feminine, the heart as the divine masculine, and the lower 3 as the divine child, the soul. And so, but they relate to thoughts, words, and actions, truth, love, and joy. Any of the threefold systems is going to be related to those 3 parts. So the way we see it is wisdom, power, and love. And so the threefold flame system that we run by mostly, and that way you can break it up. And this is where we can see also, which is supposed to come up tonight, about relationships. When we get in relationships, we connect on those, basically on those 3 levels. We connect through all 7 chakras, but we do connect on 3 levels as well. And Salotto said, thank you for explaining the heat. And vibrating, the vibrating also is a part of, so you can either get vibrating or you can get vortexing, spiraling. So sometimes as you open up to higher dimensions and the chakras that open up, the body can vibrate, and the vibrating is actually the releasing or the new vibration, a new frequency coming in. So the vibrating is actually loosening it up. It's like shaking. It's kind of like a shaking massage. And also the vortexing or the spiraling, you can get quite dizzy. And it can feel like, I've had heart arrhythmia in the past and I'm nearly blacking out from like low blood pressure. Has the same sort of feel as when you open up the crown chakra and the third eye and you get a bit of a vortexing or spinning. So often, and that's what then the spinning, you go, I'm going to pass out, and you shut down and you block the energy.
You block it, yeah.
So if you can actually just sit through it and check it, this is why we have our tools and our checks. Okay, is this a positive? Is this happening for a good reason? And then you let the vibrating keep happening, or you let the spinning keep happening. It actually finishes the download, the upgrade, if you want to call it.
And that's where breathing's important, right?
Yeah.
Just constantly breathing into your belly, just imagining the breath going all the way down, right into your sort of belly button navel area. And just sort of going, yep. Sometimes it can be fucking freaky, right? And
real
freaky. The fear can be there. And I guess the trick is not turning away from that fear, just sort of facing that fear from the heart.
Don't deny it.
And just going, yep, it's fucking scary, but I'm going to fucking do it. I'm just going to keep breathing. Yep, it's fucking scary. I'm going to fucking keep going.
Breathe into your lower belly, put your hands below your navel and breathe into there. Yep. Go, okay, this is freaky. Breathing in. Yep, it's freaky, but what else is possible? Well, show me more.
Yep.
So staying open to it, that helps the grounding and that helps the energy to flow through, because it can get quite freaky as new frequencies, new awarenesses, that everything is energy or vibration. Everything that moves, except for you, the real you. Obviously, the real you, the real mind, doesn't move, doesn't change, never grows, never gets older. But everything else, our life is just vibration and frequency, just waves moving. So when we're getting upgrades of, say, if we're getting rid of a lie and a truth's coming in, it can cause vibrating in the body. And so breathing through it, relaxing through it, say, yeah, this is freaky, but show me more. And you can sometimes, especially if you get a dizzy one in the head and you work through that, it's like, you get a full shift and literally the world changes around you or the floor disappears from out in front of you and you feel like you're walking in midair. It's like, that can get real freaky.
And that's when you got to fucking breathe.
Yeah. So Jacqueline's saying here, she's Jacqueline Bloomfield. She's got her neck's always sore on the left side, sometimes affects the left shoulder. So one of my favorites. Thank you, Jackie. So yeah, neck is generally throat chakra. Left side, because you're a female, Jackie, it's probably going to have mostly to do with you, but any other women and your spiritual direction is also involved on the left side. So left shoulder, left neck, this is all throat chakra area. So this whole band here. So when we talk about a throat chakra, it's the way the energy and the frequencies come through, and the way we pick it up. It's like a guitar tuner, I suppose, was one way of saying it. So each of the chakras pick up different vibrations. So the vibrations that go through the throat they resonate with the color blue, and I can't remember the musical note. And they also resonate with choice. So you're not choosing for you. Your choices, you're limited. And this doesn't mean that when I say your choices are limited, it doesn't mean they actually are limited. It means you're limiting them. It means you're saying you can't choose. I can't choose, and you're judging. Judgment is the other thing that blocks the choice. So judgment is also locked up in the throat chakra. And this will resonate into the shoulders and limit your shoulders, stop it from moving. So
even being scared to choose, right?
Yeah,
like you're letting fear come in the way of your choice.
So it's like there'll be a lot of choices about you doing for you, probably because it's left side, and maybe even doing some of your spiritual stuff. And you feel like either you feel like you can't, or something else outside of you is actually inhibiting you, like you're in a relationship or you're in a job or something that's really constrictive and you won't leave it. So sometimes it can be that, but it's really females and spiritual stuff is on the left side. So it's really about choice and about non-judgment and just starting to choose for you. But with this, I mean, the neck one, this is probably one of the most common for anyone in the older age bracket. And there's so many choices and there's so many things. It's really something where we'd have to explore some other issues that you've got, and to really find the key choices, because there will probably be there's 3 or 4 I can feel that are key choices that you're not choosing, you're telling yourself you can't or you shouldn't, or you're judging yourself that you want to choose.
The picture of her inner child, I'm sort of getting is sort of just like closing her eyes.
Yeah, so you're not choosing you're not choosing for your feelings, for your emotions. So maybe you're putting everyone else's feelings before yours. Which is pretty common if you're on this. If you're on our live, I'm pretty sure that's it's going to be the way. You're going to be an empath, and you're going to put other people's things before you. So this is sort of where we start to examine it a bit more. So
sometimes she feels like a string's pressing on her throat.
On your throat area, that's actually one of the ones that's often a positive. And so when we're saying this, guys, everyone that's listening. Because usually, whoever asks the question, it's usually for the other 50 people.
There's a couple of people that are agreeing here.
So often the string pulling on the throat, if it's right in the middle of the throat, there near the Adam's apple, female, but you haven't gone, roughly there in the middle, near the Eve's apple. So yeah, that pulling is actually a sensation of the throat chakra wanting to open and wanting to say. So that's kind of like there's a message coming through. And there's something wanted to be said and wanted to be chosen, and that wants to come out. And then your patterns from the past or your judgments of what's right or wrong, what's good or bad, kind of stop it from coming out. That's what causes the pull. But that's often that's a real guidance thing. I get it. I get it quite often, and it's quite interesting because it's hard, because it's the words that want to be said are not a thought; they're a feeling. And so it's like, what is that? And you can't it's not like it's a feeling that's coming through to be said, not a thought. So, and that's the little string one. But if it's coming out the sides of the throat and that's usually cords and ties and hooks we've got with other people. So they usually sort of but they still relate to choice and judgment, but they usually involve other people. But if it's front to back, that's usually the throat chakra. That's usually a message from yourself trying to speak through a feeling. It wants to say something, and that saying something will relate to a choice and a direction change in your life.
Okay.
So guys, just to refresh here, we don't just do we've got anything.
Yeah, we don't.
This is intuitive guidance. So we use our intuition with your intuition. So we do more specifically. So because what we want to do is awaken the intuition in everyone, and we're born with it. It's natural to us. But especially in the Western world, through our training and that, we end up putting it to sleep because we get too intellectual. And there's nothing wrong with intellect or ego. It's just when it's out of balance. When you've got too much intellect and too much ego, that's when it becomes wrong. When there's not enough feeling and not enough emotion balance between them, then this is where it causes a problem. So the intuition works a lot more with the emotions and a lot more with our needs as well. So this is why we and then as you get it, as you see it, and if you tell us what the issue, what's going on, and then we help you, and that feels light in you, and that expands and sets you free. The truth will set you free. Might piss you off first, but it'll set you free.
Might piss you off a lot.
and then that causes. This is what I call inspiration versus motivation. So you get motivational speakers will get out there and I'll tell you what to do, and that might motivate you, but you got to keep coming back for more and more. If you get inspired, if something opens up inside of you, if somebody can point to something and it opens up an awareness and a truth inside of you, then that's there forever, and that'll grow and that'll become more things. So this is our primary reason for doing this. This is our tithing. The Monday nights we do this for free. So we get to be a bit more selective here.
So if you're drawn here, maybe you've just got to dig a little bit deeper to ask that question, right? Like if you're seeking guidance, what are you seeking guidance on?
Yeah. So generally speaking, if you are just seeking guidance, I need something here, then you probably need to sign up either with us or somebody else for a good reading, because that means you're actually really lost. This is more helping you reawaken your intuition and sort of work with your intuition. And so the only way you can do that, it's got to be a two-way street. So,
Okay. So I've been drawn to read this one out from Sue. My son left us very suddenly, age 29, 5 years ago. I still can't let go.
Okay.
So the can't really jumped out.
Yeah. So look, again, this is a really, really difficult one, but I'm gonna. So some of these things, they take, for this, I would work with somebody for at least 5 sessions for 1 to 2 hours, right? So, and this is why I find some of these, even these shows are dangerous, because you get a little bit of information, the person will grab the bit that they want out of it, and then they sort of won't move on. But one of the simple ones, and I don't know if you've done this or not yet, Sue, but when my father was dying, I knew he was dying I had a year with him. It wasn't sudden. So I wrote down all my grievances and my understanding. So I wrote down all this that I hated when you did this when I was a kid. But, now that I'm a father, I understand. So I wrote down both sides. I wrote down my grievances and my understanding. So it's like, I'm getting that. That's the message that's coming through. So you need to write it down. So one of the techniques is to write it down. Write down all your sorrows and write down what you missed and what you wanted to say and what but also write your grievances in there too. You used to piss me off when you did this. And it's a real sort of two-way, it's a conversation, I fucking hate how you did this, but I love you and I understand it. So it's kind of like write the grievances and then at the end of it, you either, some people bury it, some people burn it, whatever ceremony you want. And the reason you can't let go is because he's not gone. This is the other part they're saying now. You can't let go because they've transformed. He's not the same person. He'll never be the same person. But it's at the core, his soul, his essence is the same. And so he's there, and you're feeling him. And if you don't let go, it's kind of like it holds on to part of them, and they, it's not like they don't pass over. This gets real complicated, guys, because it's been 5 years, so he's probably already back here in another body at the moment, but he's still there, and you can still talk to him as your son. It's like when you start to get past no time and space, I can tap into all these lives I've had, and they're all actually going on currently, the past ones and the future ones. So it's like it's kind of hard to understand when you first say it. It's like it's not linear. So the world's not linear. It doesn't go along in a line. Time doesn't. Time is linear up until the third dimension, fourth dimension. After that, once you get to the fifth dimension and above, it's not linear. It's all just there. And so part of the reason is because that connection is still there. He's still there. But the letting go is, and the other thing they're just saying now, the letting go is maybe change that word.
Yeah.
Maybe letting go of the worldly, letting go of the emotions, letting go, but don't let go of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't let go of the soul because you can't, because he's, there's a good chance he's probably back as your nephew, or, he's probably already back and he's probably already in the family.
Yeah, because it feels like they're saying to me, that simple act of just writing it down allows you to release it from the body, just to release that energy. It gives you a little bit of closure, but it sort of just helps to just, let go of the energy, not let go of him, I guess is the point.
Yeah, so when I was young, I was adopted, and I found out I was adopted by my auntie and uncle. My real mum, when I found out, we went away and we came back and she died. So I never really got to, I knew her as my auntie, but I never really got to hug her and that as my mum. And then a year or so ago, I was telling my daughter, who was 19 or whatever at the time, and I was saying how I never really got, all I really wanted was just to give her that hug as a mum, not as an auntie, and tell her it was okay that I was adopted and everything was fine. And I really miss that. And there was a whole bunch of other stuff, which I won't go into the story. But as I was saying it, I got the awareness. I'm like, holy shit, you're my mum. And my daughter got the awareness at the same time. I said, you're Loris. She goes, yeah, I'm Loris. I'm like, holy shit. So in this life, we've played two roles. She was, that particular soul, that entity was my mum, and now she's my daughter. I was her son, now I'm her father. So on a soul level, we've played two different roles already in this one life. And the amount of times we're born back into the same families and the same bloodlines is actually quite astounding. So there is a good chance that, but it doesn't mean you still can't communicate. No. It's weird because even though they're there, you can still communicate with them as the old, like on an infinite soul level.
Yeah,
I can still talk to Loris as my mum on that side, and still talk to her here.
The human brain will start to hurt when you try to think about these things. Yeah, believe me.
When you say it's like, but that's happening now, and that's happening there, and it's I can't.
It just goes.
What was that? So, the hearing one.
How can I hear my spirit guide? Diane Collins. Hey, Diane.
Diane. So, usually when
just listen.
Usually when people say that, they're already hearing them.
Yeah.
And so, but we have 5 senses and we have 5 extra senses. So we've got sight, sound, smell, touch, whatever, taste, whatever they are. And then we've got 5 extra senses. So we've got 5 ESPs. So we've got clairvoyance, which is clear vision. We've got clairaudience, which is clear hearing. Mm-hmm. But we've got clair, I think it's aesthetics, which is extrasensory feeling. We've also got clair aroma, which is the smelling. So maybe you're actually hearing your spirit guides through your feelings, which is the main way that I did it. In the early days, I didn't hear, or I would feel their words. And like when I would look at an aura, I could feel, and I could go, there's green there, but I couldn't see it. Other people could see it and they can hear it. Like John's more visual. So he gets his third eye opens and he sees the whole universe at times very easy. I'm like, fuck it. I've been doing this 20 years, and he's like, but you can't read feelings in that the way I can. So and often the ones that are blocked, if you can't hear it, maybe hearing's your main. So what happens is it's kind of like we I say they, our guides, it's all the same.
Us
block our ones that we will get distracted by. Yeah. So for me, vision
definitely.
Because I like to watch. I watch a lot, right? And so I watch people's postures. I watch the nature. It's how I learned all this stuff. So if I was having the third eye open and seeing all that, I probably would have slowed my progress because I would have just been fascinated, just looking at energy all day long, going, "Oh wow, what's that?" Oh, yeah. And I wouldn't have done anything else. So maybe you can't hear them, but you are hearing them through your heart, through your feelings. So as soon as you said I can't. I think said I can't hear my guides.
How do I hear them?
How do I hear them?
How do I hear them?
That's an indication straight away that you are hearing them. And also slowing down and accepting it. And don't jump on
I'm laughing at our story.
Don't jump on everything you hear because as you hear them, you can also hear other things. And we've got telepathic hearing, right? So it's a bit of a
can also be visual, right? Like you can say, show me a sign. And it might not come straight away. It might come straight away, but it could be a billboard, right? You know,
Yeah.
it could be an ad on the TV.
Yeah.
It could be a number plate. It could
Yeah.
be a sticker on a wall or on a car.
And that builds your belief. So
Yeah.
that's what we do. Like
Yeah.
when we hear something, we also say, give me a sign, right?
Yeah.
And we expect it to turn up straight away.
Yeah.
So it could be something that I look at. Oh, I looked at the microphone here. It says blue on it. So I've got to go throat. That's throat chakra. And I'll know that because those signs will work with me. But your guides, the universe, consciousness, whatever, will work with you. So when you ask for a sign, if you see an animal or something, what does that relate to you? But often it'll literally be written there and add on the billboard down the road here. We've got an electronic billboard that often just gives us the message written there every time we look out the window. So
the other day I looked at it, it says, get ready for the next level. I was like, what was that message? I look at it and it says, get ready for the next level. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm mad.
All right, so what else we got?
All right, Kimmy Vance. Hey, Kimmy. I've been told I'm a light worker, but I'm literally drained.
That's because you're a light worker.
Because you're a light worker. Kind of getting the tools.
Yeah, the tools. So we got
the links are on there. Yeah.
The links are on the top.
They should be on there.
This
is our first time using this new app, so
that's why our links for our Facebook page. Sorry guys, I'm really excited there because they have all this new stuff's coming through, so I'm like all over the place. So the links are on the top there. So the basic tools are, if it's light, it's right, return to sender, especially if we return, what do we call it?
Are they mine?
Are they my fields, we call it on the...
Are they my fields?
So
is the one
as
that I kind of
being a light worker, being an empath, being all this stuff, anyone who's on here is going to do this. We are so much more powerful, aware and sensitive than we feel we are. So a lot of the times we're feeling drained, it's not even yours.
Yeah.
But it is yours because you're feeling drained.
Yeah.
But as you learn this, are they my feels, get rid of that, you'll start to realize they're not your problems. And as you throw them out and realize that holding on and working on other people's problems, not only is it draining, but it's also bad because why you're working on people's problems or you're trying to help them out because you're trying to fix things. But we call it enabling, right? Mostly you're actually causing them more problems because you're not allowing them to work on their own. How did you get through your stuff? You worked on it. I don't want people to go through suffering. It's like I had a friend saying this not long ago. I said, but this is why you're at where you're at. So now you want to take away everyone else's, not let anyone else go through any suffering. So, and they were, maybe that's, I said to her, if you didn't suffer like that, would you be here talking to me? Would you be open to this? Would you be experiencing all these different frequencies and energies and everything that you're experiencing now? There's a whole world here, guys, or multiple worlds here. When we go, there's got to be more to life than this. This is the first question that opens people up. There's got to be more to life than this, right? That's the one. Or whether it's a question in our head or in our heart, and then that's when we start to open up. And there is so much more. I've been doing this 25 years, and every time I get more, I'm like, wow, and then I'm like, oh wait, there's more. And so
get onto our YouTube channel and
so the draining is a lot of are they my feels? Check the video out.
Yep.
It's kind of, you can do return to sender. Does that belong to me? No, it's not mine. And it's also opening up and letting go. So there's a whole bunch of tools here. So for people like you, Kim, we have a whole course that we're developing, and it takes quite a while to sort of learn these tools. The simple way to do it, to overcome it at first, is just tell your crown chakra to open up more and your base chakra and let the energy flow through you. Just turn the volume up. Just say turn it up 1,000-fold or turn it up 10,000-fold so that your mind can't get in the way, because people say, how do you do this? There's no how. You just say do it, right? Chakras open up. Glands pump your hormones. You can command your body. If you just surrender and say it and let go, you can just do it. You can, hypothalamus gland pump more hormones. Pituitary, pineal pump more hormones, and they do. And there they go now. Whoops, I shouldn't do that all my life. Once you do it a few times, as soon as you say it, the gland just starts to pump more out. It's like, so you just got to we call it just do it, right?
Just do it.
We call it Nike.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Okay, Debbie Wood, where am I best to go and develop? As I was developing and it seems to have suddenly stopped. So what I kind of got from that was just ask. It's not uncommon for the frequencies and the energy to change around you. So what you were used to in the past might not necessarily work the same way, right now. And the more that you try to fight and pull back to what you had or try to regain, what you were developing, the further you're going to push it away. So what they're sort of saying to me is just ask to be shown, just in a genuine way. Okay, if that is the case, and if I'm still able to do this, dear Spirit, show me how.
And where are you supposed to go? You're supposed to go inwards. Right. This is like macrocosm, microcosm, as above, so below. So we are a perfect reflection of the God. We're all gods. You guys are gods. We're all gods. Most of us are just gods pretending we're not, but we're all gods. We're all actually the same, and we have the same. We're created in the image of God. So that means we have the same ability to create as God did. And so, but we also have free will, which allows us not to do that. Otherwise, there'd be no free will and we wouldn't be here. So it's like, so where do I need to go? And the other reason it just stopped is maybe you were going to classes and that, and on a consciousness level, you've outgrown them, and so consciously and energetically, we can outgrow people very fast. And it's really weird when you're in the early days, like I was, because I knew nothing about any of this stuff. I didn't want to when I was younger. And then I sort of just got thrown into it through circumstances. And I would go to classes and that, and all these people knew so much more than me. And I would outgrow them, and then it would just suddenly stop and I couldn't go there anymore. So it's kind of looking for the next higher consciousness teacher. So, but again, look inwards. Where do you need to go was a sign for us. You need to go inside. So if you want to see God out there, you've got to see him in the sacred heart. The heart of hearts at the back behind the heart chakra, roughly. There's a tiny spot the size of a mustard seed. The faith of a mustard seed can melt mountains. That's where that one came from. So that's the heart of hearts. That's where the God in us connects with the God outside. So anything we want to see outside, if you want wealth, guys, if you want a happy relationship, you've got to find it inside you. Inside you, when I say inside you, look at your field. Your field sort of all around him, immediate field anyway. Your consciousness field goes on forever. But at least look at your body inside of you. So everything that's inside of you is where you need to find it first if you want it to last outside. It's not the only way you can get it. You can get good relationships, you can get good money on the outside, but through competition, through willpower, but it won't last. Or even if it's there, it'll never really fully enjoy it because there'll be this thread of fear behind it. And so if you find the wealth inside of you, if you get the relationship between your divine masculine, your divine feminine, and your divine child all sorted out inside, then when it comes on the outside, it'll be beautiful and you'll enjoy it and you'll have no fear of losing it. So
the last thing I've got for you, Debbie, is your inner child's turning facing backwards. So it's looking back.
It doesn't want to go where you're going.
Doesn't want to go where you're going.
It's like you need to change some of your directions on an emotional level, on your fun level. So it could be socially, could be personally with relationships or jobs, but it means, you need to have more fun. You need to
make it fun, John.
Yeah, make it more fun. Just enjoy it. And so some of the ways we enjoy it at first is just by getting outrageous. Become outrageous. Just go, everything you say I can't do, just do it. And do it twice as much as you're going to do it. Oh, I can't say that out loud. Okay, well, yell it out then.
Trust me, he does this thing.
It's like, I do it to myself still. If I catch that little thing, fear and going, I can't do that, I'm like, I'll just do it out. Like, I can't do that because I look stupid. I just make myself look more stupid. I walk down the street like a spastic or something.
It's like walking with the Walking Dead.
Like, you're worried about, you're nervous about being judged by people. I'll make them judge us. You watch this. If you can't get rid of the fear by just letting it go, then just fucking go the opposite. And just push it.
Here's a little report back message from Ray. Hey Ray, how you going? She's asked us last week about was it weeks back actually, about her bad right shoulder. She did some internal work on it, discovered it had some roots in anger, etc., etc. She says, I haven't had an issue since.
Nice.
Fucking mad.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
And this is what we like to say, guys. So when you get that, right, then that's going to trigger off a whole domino effect of, well, what else can I fix? What else can I help? What else is related? So look, everything's energy, and everything that moves is energy and frequency, right? So our body moves, our thinking moves, all of that. So and it's so we can deal with it. Like, medicine is now coming to this. Science is already coming to this, at least on the core parts of it. The tail end of science, like the doctors and the mainstream that deal with the public, maybe not catching up just yet. But science already knows it's all frequency, So if you can work out what it is, deal with the issue, and dealing with it is just asking for the help and just asking, okay, it's anger. How do I forgive this anger? Okay, if it's, if it's like, whatever, it's usually a negative emotion. This is when we're not, the infinite intelligence, God, whatever you want to call it, it's benevolent. It's all loving, all caring, benevolent. So all these other things like anger, revenge, resentment, worry, they're created by man. They were never created by God. We have free will and we can create them. So our God self doesn't create them. So therefore, they're not the real. They are real. We make them real, but they have no real power if you can get into your God self, if you can get into the truth and just let go and bring forgiveness and bring love and courage. These frequencies are all frequencies of God: courage, love, allowance, forgiveness, insight, all these things. What are not frequencies of God are anger, resentment, worry, what we call fear or love, fear or faith, fear or belief. But fear has many, many faces. So fear is worry. There's a simple faith. Fear is lack. If you've got a feeling of lack, and fear doesn't come just in the thoughts. Fear comes in the feelings and the emotions. So you can have a feeling of lack or an emotion of lack. I haven't got enough time. That's lack. That's not true. That's not, so you go, okay, why haven't I got enough time? Because I'm telling myself I've got to do this and that. I haven't really checked if that is actually necessary. I'm telling God that it has to be done. I'm telling God I haven't got enough time, if you want to say it like that. This is our little joke that we do with each other. So you're telling God now, are you? How do you make God?
Okay.
How do you make God laugh? Tell him your plans.
Oh man, there's so many comments.
Yeah, okay.
There's huge comments.
All right. So we'll go for some more.
Where are we? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
All right. So yeah, guys, and we don't go through the comments in orders, just to let you know.
Yeah.
We go intuitively. So
my hand gets moved.
If you go, I'll get missed out and everything else. Sorry, that's not our fault. That's God's. Blame him.
Yeah, I had a message. I think it was Kimmy we were chatting to earlier about how do I hear my spirit guides. Where you've been told you've got 5 guides. They told me don't always believe what people tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're worried about focusing on which one you're listening to, ask them to speak through one voice.
Yeah, they often do, right?
Mm.
So 5 guides, but that's guides. You've also got angels. You've also got, so Kimmy, this numbers and all this crap.
And the other thing they're saying to me as a general message to all of you, talk to them how you talk to yourself. Talk to them how you talk to other people.
Oh yeah.
Don't talk to them like they're this magical beings.
It's got to be genuine.
Sure how they're going to react.
You got
like. I swear at them, they swear at me.
Yeah.
I talk to them like I talk to him.
They'll talk back to you.
Right? That's what they're saying.
I get very pushy.
They're not scary.
I get very pushy and forceful. They get pushy and forceful with me, right?
Oh, they do.
And then I bring it through for somebody else. I'm like, oh, you're all nice to him. You don't say that way to me. I'm like, well, they say, yeah, you don't say that way to us, do you? And so it's got to be, it's got to be genuine.
They're not big
real.
and scary, basically, is what they're saying to tell you.
It's like, well, they are big, but they're not scary.
Yeah, but in the monster sense, right? Not monsters.
And it's also the base fear, which I really got a mind-blowing one on the other night, which is, the reason we don't connect with them, the reason we do fear it, we block this energy and everything else, is because we think they're going to tell us to do something we don't want to do.
We don't want to do.
We call it the FOMO, the fear of monkeying out.
Yeah.
It's like, we feel like if we listen to, the infinite, if we listen to God, whatever you want to call it, and I say it, not because, that's the other problem. We think God is a person, but it's just the times when I've tapped into it and just touched it like that, it's beyond what anything can comprehend. So to put it as a being is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just intelligence, infinite intelligence. So, but it's also us. It's the same. We're the same inside. So it's not going to tell you to do anything that's not going to make you more happy, more joyous.
If you're still listening on there, Ash, listen to this part. Right? Keep going.
Yeah. So it's not going to tell you to be. This is where the fear comes in. We think, I'm going to have to stop swearing or, give up alcohol or whatever. It's like, you might do that after a while, but if you do these tools and you connect. After a while, you do that because it's joyous. You stop swearing because you don't want to, because it just doesn't feel nice vibration anymore, or you stop drinking or whatever. But like my favorite teacher, Paramahansa Yogananda, he had a student that came to him. He goes, I really love these teachers. I love your yoga and everything. He goes, this was an American actor back in the 60s. He goes, but I love my hookers and blow as well. And Paramahansa Yogananda said to him, did I tell you to stop the hookers and blow? He goes, do both. He said, and at some stage, if these techniques and that are more joyous for you and that drops off, let it drop off. Don't try and stop the negative guys. And that's what we think we're going to be told to do that. And there is some sort of knowing that will probably eventuate. But if it does eventuate, it'll eventuate out of joy, and you want to do it. You can't wait not to swear, because I'm bringing this one up because it's the one that I'm about to be changing soon, the swearing one. They've been talking to me the last 2 days about that. So, but it's just more about the vibration and the frequency and enjoying it. So when you connect up, it guides you to do the things you love, and if there's vices that you have, it'll even guide you to let go of that slowly, because otherwise it just won't work. People,
they're not like they'll never force you to do anything, right? They'll encourage you. They'll ask you, are you willing, right?
And also they is you, the other part. When we say they, you've got to see that your true self, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, your God self, is them as well. It doesn't change. It's not affected by all the things we do here. The karma has got nothing to do with the real self. Karma's got to do with our life. So if we've got karma to deal with, and then we pass over, hey, we've got no karma over there. But when we come back in the next body, then we've got to deal with it again. Karma's only got to do with the movement. It doesn't actually have to do with the infinite. But you will have to do with karma, because you'll just keep getting thrown back into another body and another body and another body until you do it.
So Ash, I'm not going to read all your message out, but with this, what I sort of said to John, this is more related to the last party message. The last bit I've got is, how do I get better at reading it? I feel like I'm on sometimes, and I feel like I'm off sometimes. That's really where our tool number 1 comes in, right? If it's light, it's right. How do those messages make you feel, right? Do you feel light when you see them? If you do, then, that's probably a right. Sometimes if a message comes through and it's like, that doesn't really feel right, then maybe that's not right.
And sometimes you're off, sometimes you're on. This stuff is not, again, like similar to what John was saying before. This stuff is not like supernatural. It is, but it's not. Right? It's normal as well. So how can I get better at it? Because sometimes I'm off, sometimes I'm on. When I explain this to anyone, what have you, like with my son, I explained it to him. He played soccer. I said, when you were training for soccer, you weren't on all the time. Sometimes if you're learning a guitar, if you're learning anything, right? Sometimes you're on, sometimes you're off. That's how you get better. You just keep doing it and keep doing it. I've been doing this over 25 years now, and sometimes I'll get to these stages where I have these amazing breakthroughs. I go to dimensions that I can't even begin to explain to you. I have these feelings, and then I come back, and then I'm back into the pain and suffering, what it feels, and I'm like, this is not true. I don't believe in fear. I don't. And it's actually driving me all mad, because I've just been in the infinite, and I'm like, fucking, how can I be worried now? It just doesn't make any sense. Right? But sometimes you're on, sometimes you're off. This is all this stuff, these tools, I've been doing them endlessly for years, and they just keep growing. So how do you get good at anything you've done, guys? You just keep doing it, and you just keep doing it more and more. Your passion builds up. And when you're off.
Sorry, I'm reading comments. No, keep going.
Give up the alcohol over in my head. But again, don't give it up, right?
Don't give it up, Ash.
They won't tell you to give it up instantly.
Give it up. Yeah.
You'll back down on it.
Yeah.
It's like, don't get rid of the negatives. Start the positives, is what we say. Just the positives, and we'll replace the negatives. If you want to call them positive and negative, we are habitual creatures, right? You can't be non-habitual. That's
they're asking you to take your power back from it, right?
Yeah.
So they're not asking you to stop it, right?
Yeah.
They're just saying, we do this when what we call when we have a chasing energy to something, right? We'll sort of say, okay, I'll just take the drinking example.
It has power over you.
Yeah. I really feel like a drink, and maybe I drink regularly, right? But what they're sort of saying is, at times, don't just jump to that drink. Just stop and say, okay, am I drinking to avoid something right now? Am I drinking because there's something that I don't want to deal with?
Yeah.
And just sit with that for a little bit, right? And let that pass. And if it passes and you still want to drink, have a drink, right? But at times,
give yourself time to stop it. Just slow it down. Just take your power back from it. We call it. So is there power over me, or is it controlling me?
Is it my bitch or am I a bitch? Let's just cut to it.
That's it. We're starting this new course. We're going to make fear your bitch.
Make fear your bitch. What do you think of that as a title?
Most of us, we're our fears bitches. It's like make fear your slave, if you want to call it that one. Yeah. And so mostly we're a slave to fear, but we can actually use it. These tools that are designed to actually use our fears to recognize what we need to do. And we can actually make fears work for us by letting us get the message from them and using them to make ourselves grow and expand. So you can do the same with the I'll go, yep, give yourself permission. Yes, I will have a drink, but no, I'm going to do 10 minutes meditation first. I'm going to do something else. Or yes, I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to do it if I keep thinking about it for the next 3 hours. So if I was going out tonight, I'm going out at 8 o'clock. But I'll tell you what, Head, if you keep thinking about it for the next 3 hours, we're not going.
We're not going.
Right? So let me enjoy now and do these other relaxing things now, and then we will go later on and get them out. You do have to sort of, sometimes talk these things down. It's, it gets a bit crazy in there sometimes. But it's no different than if you actually just stop and listen to how crazy it already is, because most people can't hear it. That's all.
Yeah, Ash, I find sometimes I'll swap two different things, right? So what I do in that situation is I just sit down and I just go, no, I'm not getting out of this fucking chair, and I just sit in it.
So we got another new saying the other day: when in doubt, go without.
Go without.
So if you're not sure, just say no. If you're not sure about it, this applies. This is a real core. Wow, I think it's wow. It's a real core intuition thing, guys. This is why they said it that way to me the other day. They said, the intuition is it doesn't have doubt, and so if you doubt or if you jump in, just stop. Just say no. I'm not making a choice now. I'll leave that choice till later. I'll leave it till tomorrow. I'll leave it till tonight. I'll leave it till whenever. It's like, okay, no. If I'm swapping, it's like, okay, so. That's why we got the little saying: when in doubt, go without. When you're in doubt, make no decision, make no choice. Just put the choice off and say, I'll make the choice when I'm ready.
And it's the same with like people that come and ask us, like they feel lost or they don't know what to do. In those times, do nothing.
That's it. That is the message. When you feel lost, when you're not sure, the message is stop and do nothing. The message, and when I say stop and do nothing, it's kind of stop and sit, because it's not actually doing nothing. That's doing stopping and sitting is actually doing a whole lot. It's one of the aspects in us that needs to be. That when we talk about balance, we're talking about balance of all the different aspects, and one aspect of us needs to just be still. And so often we just be still, and But when you say I'm not going to choose, you say I'm not going to choose now. I can't choose, so I'll leave it. I don't know. Maybe there'll be more pieces of the puzzle that are going to come in the next day or two that'll help me choose. So I'm just going to let it go, and I'm just going to stop, and I'm just going to sit.
Yeah. So Alison, I hope you were listening to that last couple of sentences. Then I did see a message before, and they told me to wait. So obviously you're going to post it again. I'm looking for a rental. How do I know if it's a green light? What signs do I look for? I can't really tell by feeling. I'm sort of new to the empath. And don't really know my energies yet.
So one of the you're looking for. How do you know when it's a green light? Well, the simple one, right? If you're looking for the real green light, the one that's the God-given place. You'll just walk in, you'll just go, fuck yeah.
They're sort of saying to me, like, green light really jumped out at me. Like, so when you're driving and you're at a set of traffic lights and it's red, what do? You stop, right? You don't go through because you're going to get hit potentially, right? But when it's a green light, there's still that split second of, actually this feels good. I'm going to go now, right? It feels like safe, I suppose, is what they're saying. It's not the quite right translation. But they're sort of saying, use that analogy. Like, does it feel okay for me to go forward right now?
So what we call the fuck yeah, it's like the fuck yeah job or the fuck yeah place. It's like you just walk in and you're like, fuck yeah, this is it, right? That's the ultimate one. But sometimes we need a stepping stone one, right? So one of the ways I did it when I moved into one of the early places I had, I go, okay, I was looking in all the rental windows and I was there all day. I went to these 5 real estates and I went back past this one window 4 times. And I looked at all the rentals and then there was a heap of them there. And I just couldn't get anything. I'm like, I'm good at it. What's going on? I'm good at intuition. I'm good at following this. And I went and sat in the park and I go, okay, what's going on? What do I need to do? And I'm like, where do I go? And it's like, and all I kept getting was a feeling back of, what do you want?
What do you want?
Oh, I want a house, but what's a house? And it's like, and then I go, oh, okay. So I want floorboards because I don't want carpet. I don't like dust. I want it to look new. So I made a list of like 5 things. I made a list of 8 things, and I said, okay, there's an 8 things there, and 5, so I want at least 5 out of the 8. And it's like, so it's got to have floor, like a hard floor, blah blah blah.
Probably a garage.
Yeah, garage, and close to walking distance to to the shops or the nightclubs. Be serious. This was in
let's not bullshit the people, John.
This was in my 20s, guys. And so, you know, then I got
to
back
the shops. What, for alcohol?
Walked to the nightclubs, you know, walked the girls home. So yeah, went back up. I got back up after I made that list in my head. I walked straight over. Oh, and I also had to change my price bracket. And I said the last part was, you know, because I was saying I was sort of sticking to a particular price, and then I said not more than a price instead of a fixed price, and so it pushed me up, and so that's why I didn't see that particular one. And I walked straight over the window and looked right in the middle. It was there, right there.
Bang, smack it.
And just had floorboards, all of these things. But it was like $50. I think it was $30 more a week than I was actually thinking of, right? Yeah. And this is the old days. This is before computers and stuff.
Where you had to actually walk around to real estate
and they had them all in the window and labelled. And
can't just go one form.
You can't like select what your price range is. You got to look for each one. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, and it was just like bang. And I walked in, and I was literally because I just had enough, and I'd moved away from the Central Coast, and I literally moved in. 2 hours later, I was moving into the house, which is just, they're like, oh, you got to put the form in the application. I'm like, look, yeah. And I had, you know, I just got to pay out from work and stuff. So I was like, look, don't bother me. Look, just get me the approval. I'll pay you 2 months or 3 months rent right now in advance. And it's like, they said, oh, yeah, go and we'll try and get in contact with the owners. I got my food was on order for lunch, and they rang me up and gone, yeah, you're in straight away. I was literally 2 hours later, I was actually fully moved in. But I had to go through that list. So that sometimes make a list. It's like, because the universe can't give you anything, or infinite intelligence can't just ultimately decide. It's got to decide with you and from your requirements. But don't limit it too much, you know. Say that or anything that feels like that is the other way we do it. So this is what so we can say, if it was a car, we can say, I want, you know, a 4-wheel drive Mercedes, you know, the new model AGM or something like that. And then it's like, or any other car that makes me feel like I would feel in that. And that opens it up for the universe. But you can use a specific picture, because then when I say that car, because I know that car, that's the one that I want, I can imagine myself driving in it, and I can imagine myself the way I feel, because I don't give a shit about the car. I just give a shit about the way I feel. And this is why we don't want things for the things. We want things for the way they make us feel. So then when we can use that thing and then take the limit off it from that, because the universe might go, hey, look, go on this entry and you've won one. You've won a Porsche.
She's popped in a little bit more information. Yeah. She says she thinks that the girl might give it to her, like this rental place she's looking at, out of empathy. She's an empath as well. However, she doesn't want it. Alison's saying that she doesn't want it to be offered out of empathy.
So you know,
it's kind of like the Grace in Perfect Ways is what sort of came through.
So it's like, you know, that's the universe trying to work for it. It's like, okay, so how do you think the people that do it out of fear, you know, the ones that work on, say, the dark side of the force, right? They work like that all the time. So we're going to let them do that, but then we won't take advantage of that. It's like, you know, how's God's plan going to work if people that are trying to follow God's plan don't receive that way? It's like, that's how it works. So that, you know, the people that are doing it out of fear, out of greed, that's how they do it all the time. So, you know, and again, you don't want to take it that way. That's God or the universe trying to fucking give it to you. It's like, you don't want to receive. It's like, because you're judging the people who do that as excessively taking advantage and taking it out of greed, the same thing doesn't mean the same thing. This is like, there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. There is no good or evil. But thinking, our intentions, the way we think, so that our point of view, our intentions, all these different thinking things is what makes it good or bad. So then we see somebody like, you know, one of the things I used to say to John all the time, the confidence and arrogance. You know, I used to get a lot of people used to go who sort of didn't know me when I go out. They go, oh, you're very arrogant, right? I'm like, arrogant? I mean, I just came from meditation classes. Just did 3 miracle healings. You know, and it's like, but I look, the way I walk, my chin would be up and chest would be out like this. And it's like, and so guys who are arrogant walk the same way. And this is the problem. We see something and we call that, you know, I'd cross my arms a lot. People go, oh, you're very blocked. I'm like, I'm blocked, am I? Maybe you should look at my X-ray. This is how I support my lower back, because I crushed my L5S1 in a motorbike accident. If I don't do that, I'll get a pain in my back. So it's like, so this can be the problem with all this. We read body, we read energy, but it's very easy to mistake, because one can be the other very easily. So it's like confidence and arrogance get mixed up, softness, so compassion and speaking softly. People, I've seen some people really use it to manipulate. Oh, wow, that's really lovely. And they come across with this real soft voice. You feel their energy. They're manipulating and they're fucking,
they're kicking you in the stomach.
They're evil as fuck. They've got some real hidden agendas going on there. So it's like, so you're probably mistaking. I don't want to do that because you see other people do that, but you're seeing the ones who are doing it from competition, who are doing it from fear or control over. This is not that. Of course, we should do it for that. That's how it works. Why do you give people things? Because you like them. Because you think they're doing good. Why are we doing this? Because we want the more people that are doing it for the good reason, then the more the good grows. So receive that.
Yeah, she's saying she's been called out many times before. I can't tell if she's a good one or a bad one because people wear many masks. So they do, as we do, as you do.
And this is why we have our tool. This is what the tools are for.
Yeah.
This is why if it feels light, it's right. Because you can hear it, you can see it. But so when we say if it feels right, we're not always talking about a physical feeling, right? So the intuitive feeling is actually that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't even feel it. I can feel it, but I can't feel it. So when I say does it feel light,
people explain it as that feeling in your gut.
It's like we all get it to somewhere. It doesn't feel right here. Why not? I don't know. Something doesn't feel right. That's when it's not feeling light. Yeah. That's when it's heavy. That's what
we talk about our fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Right. When we walk into a situation which is a fuck yeah, it's just like fuck yeah. Like I love this. Like
that's when it's really
that's like the extreme of it, right? It's just like fuck yeah, I want that.
It's on every level.
Fuck, I'd love that.
Every chakra just goes, yep, this is it. Sometimes we're only getting it on a couple of levels. Sometimes we're getting it. So when we get the fuck yeah, it's like it's all levels. This is the perfect one for right now.
Yeah.
On all levels. But sometimes we need to just go with okay. This is the perfect stepping stone one.
Yeah.
This is this is me turning my life around.
Yeah.
So I've got to take a stepping stone one to get to the right one. But yeah, this is like it's all about receiving.
So Ash is telling Shannara, they're both Kellys. I don't know if they're sisters or not. Maybe they are. Ash is saying, Shannara, you need to open up to receiving.
Yeah.
Like if you see it, it's in you, Ash.
Yeah.
That's also.
So
see it, it's in you.
was Ash Kelly, was that the one that was asking about the guides? How do you hit?
So another one, but more about when it comes on and it goes off.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So what we laugh at here is usually as soon as we see something and we tell somebody else, that's the message is for both of us, right?
Yeah.
And often it's from you more than it is from them. So it's like, if you want to get
sisters,
So Ash, you need to open up to receiving your messages, right?
Yep.
So she needs to open up from receiving from the outside. This is one of our favorite tools, right?
Yep.
So if you see it, it's in you, we call it, right? And so you can see that she doesn't receive off people. You're not receiving off your internal, but you receive off people probably, Ash. And so you when you start to see that, it's like, so this is what we say when we see it, it's in you. It's not the same way. She might be, and sometimes the reason we don't do it, especially on the outside, it's karmic. It comes up from past lives. So don't try and work all of this stuff out, guys. This is one thing that we just got really hit with on the weekend is, these tools are good, but they're limited because they're limited to what our conscious mind can do, and they're limited to what we can remember from this life, which is about 10% of it anyway. And so the stuff we're actually working on, what we can remember and what we can consciously work on with these tools is less than 2% of what we're actually working on. So this is why we've got to go with, yep, that feels right. Doesn't sound right. Sounds insane. But it feels right. And that's how we get through this stuff.
Thanks, Lily. Guys. Thanks for that comment, Lil.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the comments tonight. Thanks for putting up with our slow start and our higgledy-piggledy
start.
Us getting grounded in this new way.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Yep. If you're in Melbourne, we've got our shop in South Yarra.
Say hello. Come down to the
shop. We're going to do the Thursday night
class. Got some beautiful stock in there too now.
Yeah.
Some amazing stock. Come and check it out.
And check out our other lives on, what's that thing called, YouTube?
YouTube.
And, we'll see you next week.
Alrighty.
God bless.
Bye.